illegal by National League standards. But one of the rules they put in for this tour is that it wouldn't be called.
Khimik's top line on the ice, Zelapuk and Kitov and Dmitry Bartelnov. Desjardins down the boards for Turgeon. He nearly lost the puck. Desjardins for Montreal. To Turgeon. Shorsky picked it up. Down the right side, takes a shot from a bad angle, and that's picked out easily by Chervyakov. Shorsky slides the puck in front. It's cleared to center to Bartelnov. Moving in against Peter Svoboda. Kitov setting up in front. Bartelnov couldn't get the pass through. Desjardins takes over for the Canadiens. To Tom Chorsky. He goes rink wide to Denis Savard. Turgeon is with him. Savard a spin around against Ulanov, and then he falls down in the corner. Ulanov down the boards. Desjardins trying to hustle to keep it in. He can't do it. Schneider back in his own zone, wearing number 8, as he gave 18 to Denis Savard, and a two-line offside pass for the Canadiens.
Well, there's a shot of the Soviet head coach. There's about 6 coaches behind the bench, but there's the head one, Vladimir Vasilyev. And the last time that he coached in the same rink as Pat Burns, it was Piastany, Czechoslovakia. You remember the riot between the Canadian junior team, on which Pat was an assistant coach, and Vasilyev coached the Russian team.
Interesting to watch the morning skate. Vasilyev goes on the ice, no gloves, no stick, just a whistle. You should have tried that, Harry, when you coached.
They had a very dead practice. There was very little in the way of high-tempo drills, which is uncommon for Russian practices. The players, not one of them seemed to be having any fun at all.
Trukno's stick handling, and just missed the top corner. Kurashov at his own line for Khimik. Pass it center to Trukno. Just past the 5-minute mark in period 1. 0-0 between the Canadiens and Khimik. Trukno at center. Gets away from LeBeau. Ahead to Berechevsky. Good move on Schneider. Right at a shot, and a good save by Bergeron. Shuryev fanned on a shot, and 4 Canadiens break out. It's Mike Keane to Shane Corson. Back for Keane, but the Canadiens are offside on the play as Khimik came very close again. That's a pretty good play.
Yeah, was it ever? We're looking at Lev Berdichevsky, who really put a how-do-you-do move on Matt Snyder. Watch this. Snyder goes for the puck, and then you're done. He gets the puck by him, he gets himself by him, but he can't get the puck by Bergeron.
Khimik's had the better scoring chances in the first 5.5 minutes of this hockey game. J.J. Daigneault back for it for Montreal. Played some forward this year for the Canadiens. On defense tonight, left the puck for acting captain Strudlin. Back to Gerald Diddick, the former Islander, to Daigneault. He skates to center and shoots it into the Khimik zone. Smirnoff along the boards with Peterson. Yashin can't poke it out. Now the puck does come out. Nida for Khimik. Into the Montreal zone. Has Yashin with him. Nida trying to center it. Came in front. Peterson knocked it to the point. Smirnoff to keep it in. He does. Andrei Bartelnov into the corner. He's knocked down by Daigneault. Yashin for Selyanin, and he can't get a shot away. Nida in the corner. Back of the point to Smirnoff. He waits, lets the shot go, and a stick save by Bergeron. Nida turning in the corner. Good pressure here by Khimik. Back to Smirnoff. His quick shot. Add onto the stick of Daigneault. Peterson. Right wing pass for Richer. Would have been a 3-on-1 for the Canadiens, and then they nearly mishandled it. Khimik, that is, as they clear it to center. Lefebvre loses the puck to Bartelnov to the backhand. He turns now, shoots, and Bergeron makes the save. Trying to use Toropchenko as a decoy. Richer for Montreal. Check by Smirnoff. Richer behind the net. Coming in front of backhand. He put it right through the crease. Nida on the end of a long shift. To Toropchenko at center. He lost it, and it's Svoboda for Montreal. Back to Lefebvre. Good move at center. Left it for Svoboda at the line. He was challenged, and Toropchenko knocks it back to Veselgin. Toropchenko looking for Maslov. Svoboda in his own zone for Montreal. Lefebvre for Russ Courtnall. He couldn't control it. Castle's hustling after the puck. And Cherbyakov plays it. Veselgin off the boards to Toropchenko. On the right side to Maslov. His shot over top of the goal. Soviets shooting a lot in the first period. Toropchenko trying to center it. It's Castles up the boards for Courtnall. Veselgin is there. Maslov to Milligan. His shot off a stick. And the puck goes sailing into the crowd. Nearly 8 minutes gone in period one.
Welcome to Rock'em Sock'em Hockey Part 2.
Don Cherry's back with Rock'em Sock'em 2. Exciting, hard-hitting, action-packed, all-out hockey. Don Cherry hockey. Great goals, great hits, and much, much more. This is the way the game should be played. And occasionally, the way it should not be played. The heroes, the personalities, and the legends of this amazing game. All in one great video cassette. Rock'em Sock'em 2, only from Quality Video. In stores now.
Well, Bergeron's had to put up with two Russian players in alone. Sylvain Lefebvre, a giveaway just outside his blue line. And here it is coming up right here. Stick handling, standing still. A dynamite move. Kvartalnov gets a chance. And Bergeron was all ready for that shot after Kvartalnov bided some time looking for a teammate to pass it to.
Shots are 5-3 Khimik. Kurashov a shot, and that's kicked away by Bergeron. Titov in the corner, in front to Kvartalnov. He was looking for Zelapukin. Desjardins for the Canadiens to Matt Schneider. Pocket at center, Kurashov for Khimik. To Shuryev. On the right side to Zelapukin. Can't get anywhere against Schneider. He fell down. And out come the Canadiens. Brunet with a speedy Russ Courtnall. But he overskated the puck at center. Now stick handles around Zelapukin. Lost it to Titov. Zelapukin. Back to Titov. Stick handles into the slot. Still has it. Titov trying to center it. Into the corner now. Dmitry Kvartalnov. Behind the back pass. Titov to Shuryev. Back to Titov. Trying to center again. Puck loose in front. And finally Bergeron covers up as Khimik continues to pressure in the Montreal zone.
Well, the Khimik team has been far more dangerous here in the first 9 minutes of this game. And a lot of people wonder where in Russia this team's from. Voskressensk is 100 kilometers southeast of Moscow. And Khimik, if you thought that was something you strung between two trees to lie on a summer afternoon, it isn't. It's the sponsor of this team, a chemical plant. And 70% of the players that play for Khimik grew up and came through their minor hockey system.
Enjoying their tour around the NHL. Zelyanin to Trukno. Plays it off the boards to Berdichevsky. He drops it off for Klemashov. The shot, good save by Bergeron. And a loose puck in front, Savard. For Turgeon, Canadiens can't get it out. Now they do. Chorsky with Savard, a 2-on-2, and that play's broken up by Smirnov. Berdichevsky takes the shot against Didick. Khimik buzzing around again in the Montreal zone. Berdichevsky takes a shot off the leg of Daniel. Turgeon for the Canadiens. Swoley to center. Into the Khimik zone. Trying to go wide on Smirnov. He turns in the corner. Chorsky behind the goal. Left the puck in the corner for LeBeau. He's tied up by Smirnov. LeBeau kicks it free. Trying to cut in front. Smirnov staying with him. LeBeau's pass too high for Turgeon. Chorsky from the point. His shot is blocked. And the puck comes out. We've reached the midway mark of the first period. 0-0. Odeline back to touch it. And it's an icing call on Khimik. 9:53 is the time left in the first.
Bergeron's been the busier of the two goaltenders and has made 3 or 4 excellent saves. Here's one of them on Yuri Klemshov. Using the defenseman Didick as a screen, gets a good shot and nearly gets the rebound to put it in.
Khimik shooting the puck a lot in the first period. They've outshot the Canadiens 7-3. And if not for Bergeron, Khimik would have the lead. Still scoreless, 9:53 left. LeBeau in front for Mike Keane. He tried to set up Corson. And the puck is clear to the Montreal line. Svoboda to Stéphane LeBeau. He sends the puck into the Khimik zone. Veselgin in the corner with Corson. Keane after it. He's bumped by Nida. He plays it around the boards and outside the Khimik zone. Couple of players. Melnigan and Nida had their jerseys stolen in St. Louis, so are wearing new numbers tonight for Khimik.
If we ever catch those sleeves, Bruce.
Shane Corson can't get anywhere against Ulanov. Back to Nida. Ahead for Andrei Bartelnov, but Svoboda broke that play up. Stéphane LeBeau trying to find room for Montreal. A rolling puck is backhanded out by Andrei Bartelnov. And the Soviets and Canadiens both make changes. Lefebvre to center. Try to slap it in. It hits Churyev on the ankle. Lead pass for Maslov. Stéphane Richer goes charging into the Soviet zone. Takes to the backhand out of the forehand, and he's poke checked by Chervyakov. Maslov, the only player on the squad with a mustache for Khimik. Trudland at the point. Takes the shot. Richer trying to deflect it. Now Richer turning in the corner. And Churyev clears it outside the Khimik zone. Lefebvre shot it back in. Kurashov. Pass into the skates of Melnigan. He goes around Strudland at center. Into the Montreal zone. Got a shot away from the slot. Bergeron the save. Melnigan chopping away at it. And Maslov couldn't get a stick on it. Here's Richer with good speed down the right wing. The slot shot. And the save by Chervyakov. And he held it long enough to force a face-off to his left.
Mesdames et messieurs, dans le cadre du concours du numéro chanceux Kodak que vous retrouvez autour de l'aliment inscrit dans le magazine des Canadiens, le numéro 002953 permet à son détenteur de remporter un magnifique appareil photo 1100 XL de Kodak. De le gagnant jusqu'à 30 minutes après la fin du match pour réclamer son prix en se présentant au poste de sécurité du forum. It's now time for the Kodak Lucky Number Contest. You will find your lucky number in the back of the lineup card inserted in the middle section of the Canadiens magazine.
Well, Stéphane Richer made one of his patented rushes down the right side and lets a shot go. The goaltender, Chiriakov, came way out. See how far out he is, and stood very square to the shooter. And Stéphane Richer couldn't see much of the net and hit him in the bullseye with that shot.
Richer 51 goals last season, has 13 so far this year. 7.5 minutes to go in the first. Nothing. Long lead pass, failed to click, and Didick is back to touch it. Icing call against Khimik.
Well, refereeing this game is the Russian referee, Alexander Галахманов. He practiced today with the Khimik team. He wasn't on a line, but he was out there skating and travels with the team. He was very excited about getting a chance to work a National Hockey League game. And one of the areas of great improvement in the Soviet hockey is their officials.
Courtnall, a shot off the face-off that went wide. A couple of NHL linesmen joining the Soviet referee. Castle's trying to center it for Courtnall. Smirnov to Zelapukin. He lost the puck to Gerald Didick. Off the boards to Courtnall. Pass on the left side, too far ahead for Brunet. Selyanin behind the goal. Castles picks it up for Montreal to Courtnall. Gagnon was cruising into the slot. Courtnall couldn't get him the puck. Castles to the backhand, back for Courtnall. And Zelapukin has the puck for Khimik. Drops it off to Dmitry Bartelnov. Edge of the circle, gets to the point. Ulanov shot. That hit Titov in front and goes to the board. Veselgan from the left point. Behind the net, Didick is there for Montreal. Left the puck. Bartelnov picks it up. Comes right in front. Backhand shot by Titov went wide. Puck bouncing around in the Montreal zone, and Courtnall brings it up. Not as far as center, than is pinned on the boards by Veselgan. Zelapukin. Slowly into Montreal territory. Backhands it to the side of the net. Bergeron sets it up for Lyle Odeline. His pass off the skate of Savard. Matt Schneider. Forced by Trutno. Off the boards. Berdichevsky trying to keep it in. He couldn't, and then took a check from Schneider for his efforts. Hasn't been a bad game.
No.
Coming up in our first intermission tonight, Grant talks with Montreal newcomer Denny Savard, and we'll preview the remaining Super Series coverage. This is the first of 6 games coming up. Khimik against the Montreal Canadiens tonight. 5:59 left in the first. There's Savard. Getting set for the face-off against Klemashov. Berdichevsky, a good move at the line after a rolling puck. Tried to golf it to the net. Schneider at the side of the goal. Over the line to Savard. Canadiens having some trouble with Himik here in the first period. Ulanov keeps it. No, he didn't, as the puck just did come out.
Well, Denny Savard, who leads the Montreal Canadiens in assists and is tied for the lead in points. 1,039 points in 769 NHL games. Lately has been starting to look like the Savard that we saw so often in Chicago. But we have to remember now, all new teammates, a new coach, a new system. Even the great ones take a little while to get used to.
Schneider to Odeline. Veselgan. Soviet flattened Berdichevsky at center. Korsky for Turgeon. He was checked. Trutno for Himik. Fires it around the boards. Odeline keeps it in for Montreal. Working his way down the boards to Turgeon. Savard cruising around. Turgeon took a shot. And it's covered up by
Well, there's no question that this guy in goal for the Khimik team looks a lot more like a North American goalie than most of the Russian goalies we've seen play over here. He's a seasoned veteran, 3rd year in the elite league in Russia with Khimik. And Darcy Rhoda, who's traveling with this team across North America, said that he's really played quite well in all 3 games so far, and tonight doesn't look like it's going to change very much.
Sylvain Turgeon, acquired from the Devils, in the lineup tonight for Montreal. Lefebvre, slot shot, that hit Tretyakov high, but he seems to be all right. Keane to Corson, he jammed it in front, and Tretyakov puts his glove on it as the Canadiens swarm the Himik net.
Well, that was a nice play by Lefebvre, the Montreal defenseman. Yashin came out to block the shot. Lefebvre faked the shot and then let a real hard one go that hit the Soviet goaltender in the shoulder. Now, see the Soviet player going down to block the shot too early. Lefebvre steps past him and then blasts a 46-footer off the shoulder of the goaltender.
Yashin spins around, backhands it to the Canadiens line. Lefebvre to LeBeau. For Shane Corson. Rolls it in for Keane, and the puck is cleared by Kurashov to the Canadiens line. Lefebvre across to Peter Svoboda. He's been bothered by an ulcer problem. Corson.
That's the kind of injury coaches usually get. Very rarely do players get them.
Keane looking for LeBeau. Corson. Behind the net for LeBeau. Puck along the boards. Keane for Montreal. To Corson. Tried to leave the puck in front, but Kurashov moves it ahead to Shuryev. Now to Bartledon. Nida. Pass on the left side for Yashin. That play is broken up by Lefebvre. And Himik make changes again with 4 minutes to go in the first period. 0-0. will fade to center. Trying to do it himself, gives it to Skrudland. For Richer. Knocks down a high pass, then is checked. And the referee rules that the puck was touched by a high stick.
Hockey teams are drafting more Russian players than ever before, and here's an example of 5 of them. Kozlov, the Red Wing draft, is not with this team. He plays with them, but he is in Russia getting ready for the World Junior Championships coming up later in Saskatoon.
Puck is cleared down the ice. Daigneault back for it, and an icing call on Khimik. Down to 3:44 left in the first period.
I was talking to one of the Russian coaches, Anatoly Bogniov, who's an assistant coach. He actually coaches Sokol Kiev, and I said, you know, and he speaks pretty good English. In Russia, did they fire the coaches at the rate they fired them here? And he shook his head and smiled, and he said, Mr. Neal, I'm afraid it's an international problem.
Coach's job not safe anywhere, eh, Harry?
I guess not. But he was a delightful guy, full of a life, and most of the players didn't look like they were enjoying this tour as much as he seemed to be.
Brian Skrudland into the corner for Richer. Smirnov, possibly Khimik's best defenseman, staying with Richer. Peterson from the corner to Brian Skrudland. And the puck is cleared down the ice again.
Well, the Montreal Canadiens, Bruce, are trying to be a little too cute. You know, there's no physical play at all to speak of in this game. And the Russians always are a team that maybe pass it one too many times. And if you're not careful when you play against them, you get trying to play that game. And we've seen Montreal with 3 or 4 bad giveaways and a reluctance to shoot the puck. And normally they're a team that doesn't mind shooting it.
Shots at this point, 8-6 Khimik. Scoreless first period. Elgin and Skrudland on the draw. Skrudland to Richer in front for Peterson. He's knocked down, running to the center for Skrudland, who was dumped, and the fans wanted a penalty.
And the referee gives the signal, no penalty, which is what we do in the Soviet Union, but of course not in the National League.
Gorovchenko tried to roll it in front. Peterson brings it back for Montreal. He's with Richer. Poke checked at the line by Seljanik. Yiddick turning in his own zone for Montreal. Across to Daigneault. Richer, a nice move in his own zone. Richer.
And there's an example right there by Richer. A little too cute. We all know he can make those kind of moves, but in your own zone, it's a dangerous situation to get yourself in.
Bartelnov for Zelapukin. He was checked by Savard. Bartelnov picks it up again, hands it off to Titov, cutting for the net. He was checked by Matt Schneider. Schneider in the corner, trying to poke it up the boards for Savard. Titov looking for Zelapukin. Chorsky for Montreal. To Turgeon at center. Savard going for the net. Savard has it. Backhand pass. And it deflected off Titov, and then the side of the goal. Bergeron fires it around the boards for Schneider. Zelapukin to Kurashov in his own zone. 1:48 left in the first. Titov, lead pass to Zelapukin in against Desjardins. He stops, hands it off to Bartelnov in the corner. He's grabbed, thrown to the ice, and once again the referee says no penalty. Schneider to Denny Savard. And the Canadiens are offside on the play.
Well, the referee, who's done a nice job, he can certainly skate well enough and he seems to be in position. But when there's a close call and the crowd reacts, he gives the safe signal, like in baseball, to let them know that he saw it, but he's not going to call it. Here's the last chance right here. There's the penalty. And look at the official at the bottom of the screen give the safe sign, which in the National Hockey League, you see occasionally the referee will signal that a player dived, but the supervisors don't like them to do that at all on a penalty that isn't called.
Puck rolling in the Montreal zone. Svoboda giving chase. Klemashov right behind him. Berdichevsky dumped it into the corner. Andrew Castles to Brunet. Shuryev pinching for Khimik. Lefebvre behind his own net. Pass on the left side to Brunet. Back to Lefebvre. He starts the Canadiens out. Castles to center. Brunet picks it up. To Courtnall. The shot. And Cherbyakov was down and made the save. Trukno to Berdachevsky. He lost the puck momentarily. Now gives it to Trukno with less than a minute to go in the first. Berdachevsky into the corner. Looking for Klemashov in front, but good back checking by Russ Courtnall. Lefebvre to Castles. He's with Brunet. Stopping at the line and put it right on the stick of Klemashov. Here's Trukno with Berdachevsky at 2-on-1. Trukno shoots, scores!
Well, I'll tell you one thing, that's a National League shot by Trukno. A bad giveaway by Andrew Castles just inside the Khimik blue line. Standing still, he tried a soft pass across the blue line. It was intercepted, and here's the giveaway right here. You got to get that puck deep. With all these people standing still, you can see the result. And Trukno knew on the 2-on-1 that the pass was taken away from him by Snyder, and he fired it upstairs to give Khimik a 1-0 lead with 24 seconds to go in the first period.
His first goal on the tour, Trukno scoring at the 1936 mark to give Khimik a 1-0 lead over the Montreal Canadiens. Daniel backhands it in. Seljanin backhands it down the board for Bartolnov. He got it to center. Daniel missed Dean with a pass. 8 seconds left in the period as Smirnov sends the puck down the ice. Daniel hustling. And they let the play go. No icing call on Khimik.
Well, you'd have to give the edge as far as territorial play and chances to score to Khimik. Montreal Canadiens were really not in the game as a team. Individually, they were trying to do too much, and they ended up finally getting burned on it on that Castles giveaway to give Khimik a 1-0 lead.
Shots were 10-7 in the first as Khimik takes a 1-0 lead. In the broadcast booth as Khimik and the Canadiens get set to start the second period. I thought Khimik had a pretty good first period, Harry.
Well, they certainly were more dangerous than the Canadiens, as we mentioned, and Denny Savard referred to it in his interview, that Montreal can play a lot better than that, and we're going to see whether he got his message through to his teammates in the first intermission.
Second period underway. Seljanin behind his net, watched by Savard. Lead pass for Bartolnov. Savard from outside the line gives it to Turgeon. He was poke-checked by Titov. And the puck is back in Montreal territory. Lefebvre behind his goal. Savard picks it up. Back to Lefebvre. Pass missed Savard on the left side. Seljanin in his own zone for Khimik. He fires it around the glass. Turgeon knocked it down. Came to Savard in front for Chorsky, and he couldn't jam it in. Standing in the crease. Smirnov. Long lead pass for Bartolnov. Smirnov starting up for Khimik. Banks it off the boards. Berdachevsky couldn't pick it up. Desjardins slaps it in for the Canadiens. Savard tipped it to the point, and Lefebvre brought it in on the offside.
Well, Sylvain Turgeon still has a ton of rust on himself, not having played. He was even hurt at the end of last year. And this is a nice way, Bruce, I think, for him to get a little game action. He's got to test that problem, and he's got to get some confidence, and then he has to get into game shape. And to do all those things in an NHL game, pretty tough, so I'm sure he's happy to be able to get out here and just feel himself around.
Lyle Odeline shoots it in for Montreal. Keane in the corner. Bump by Klemashov. Selgan whips it around the boards. Svoboda left point. Couldn't keep it in for Montreal. Keane. Checked by Klemashov. Corson. Knocks it back to Odeline in his own zone. Khimik backing up as Odeline slops it in. Into the side of the goal. Cherbyakov into the corner for Berdachevsky. Corson for Keane in front. He turns, can't get the shot away. Ulanov for Khimik. Hit Keane trying to clear it. Here's Corson. LeBeau goes for the net. Corson trying to get it to LeBeau, but he was checked at the last moment. And shooting it down the ice was Baselgan. Odeline gives it to Peter Svoboda. He turns. slowly to center. Pass went between LeBeau and Keane. Kurashov. Shot at the center. Svoboda to Peterson, and he tips it into the Khimik zone. Just past the 2-minute mark in the second period. Trudno has scored for Khimik. They lead it 1-0. Shuryev. Long shot, didn't get much on it. And Khimik is called on the offside. The Soviets leading 1-0. About 7 of them there.
That's good. There's a shot of the Russian coaching staff. That's more than were on the crew of that submarine in the hunt for Red October, I think. They have coaches, assistant coaches, trainers, and certainly they've got this game pretty well covered with all those guys back there.
They used to stand in front of the players on the bench. Good thing they're not doing that tonight, or none of the players could see the game here.
No room at the forum on the bench, even if you stand behind.
Strudlin to Riche, a quick shot. And Chervyakov stayed right there to make the save on the short side.
Yashin, Oleg Yashin, according to Darcy Rota, who's seen the 3 games, say that this is the one Russian player that has played with a fair amount of physical aggressiveness. He's small, 5'10", 165, 22 years old. We haven't seen much of it tonight, but it is uncommon for the Russians to have players who are noticeably physically. I mean, they're a tough crew. They're hard to knock off the puck. They're tough on a one-on-one battle for the puck, but this guy, I guess, according to Mr. Rota, was running around in St. Louis especially, running into the nearest blue he could get his mitts on.
Yashin, a draft pick of the Edmonton Oilers in 1989, their 7th choice. Oilers have a couple of Soviets. He is Meekin, who hasn't played a game yet. He used to play for Khimik, and Semenov. Bergeron makes the save. On the shot by Toropchenko. Gerald Diduck at the side of his own goal. Toropchenko forechecking for Khimik. Riche to Schneider. Lead pass to Peterson. Had it poked off his stick by Smirnov. And Melgan shot it into the Montreal zone. Schneider back for it, and an icing call on Khimik. 3:10 gone in the second period.
Matthew Schneider leads the Montreal Canadiens defense crew in scoring with 15 points in 31 games. So one thing that the Canadiens lack, although Svoboda back in action will help them, is to generate some offense from their defense crew. And of course, Chris Chelios did a lot of that in the past years. And they think this guy, Schneider, is going to be the next top offensive defenseman for the Montreal Canadiens.
Canadiens with a youth movement on the blue line. Castles and Titov for the draw. Brunet at the point to Desjardins. His slap shot just wide of the goal. Castles was trying to deflect it. Ulanov dumped it in the corner. Brunet is there. Spun Ulanov to the ice. Kicked the puck free, but Ulanov held it long enough to force a face-off to the right of Chervyakov.
Well, Andrew Castles, a first-round draft pick from the Ottawa 67s, has been moved from his normal position at center ice to playing the wing. And he really had a great junior career for Brian Kilray in Ottawa, and now in the National League is playing on the wing, although on this shift he's at center ice.
Khimik controlled off the draw. Zelepukin checks. Kvartalnov following up. Leading scorer in the Soviet National League last year. Gives the puck to Zelepukin. Works his way into the slot. Kvartalnov scores! And it's 2-0 Khimik.
Well, this big line of the Soviets, Valatarov, Titov, and Zelepukin, have been the dominant line as far as chances are concerned. And you're not going to see a better goal than this anywhere in the world. No one takes number 18, Kvartalnov, and he fires a rocket that goaltender Bergeron got a piece of, but couldn't handle all of it.
Pretty good one-timer by Dmitry Bartolnov.
And he told a group of reporters today that if he was given the choice between the '92 Olympics for the USSR or going to the National League, without hesitation, he would rather go to the National League. He has not been drafted, but he may after this tour. 24 years old.
Second goal on the tour. Titov had it knocked away by Lefebvre. Svoboda. Evgeny Savard. He lost the puck at center to Berdichevsky. Svoboda following up for Montreal. Gives it to Savard. Titov lost his stick, and Savard has the puck for Montreal. Moving in. He fakes the shot. Now lets it go. And Chervyakov stayed with him to make the save. Savard into the corner. Ulanov goes after it for Khimik. Bartolnov couldn't clear it. Pass in the slot for Turgeon. That's intercepted by Titov. He gives it to Bartolnov, who's with Berdichevsky. Bartolnov around Lefebvre, going for the net. Can't get a shot away as it's steered away by Bergeron. Kurashov at center. Return pass from Klemashov. Kurashov down the left side into the Montreal zone. A wrist shot. And that's snapped up by Bergeron, who holds on for the draw. Dmitry Bartolnov has scored in the second for Khimik.
Want to do this one, Doug?
Sure, if you like.
At Maple Leaf Gardens, and it'll be on your television set. Same stations, this one.
Lyle Oderline for Montreal. They trailed 2-0 in the second period to Khimik. And the Canadiens called for icing as Shane Corson couldn't beat Kurashov to the puck.
Well, Stéphane Lebeau, second in goals, tied for one in points. Tied for the lead in power play goals with 4, which tells you something about the Montreal power play. 14 points in his last 13 games, and he has been one of the few bright lights among the offensive players for the Montreal Canadiens. Hasn't had a great chance tonight. Montreal's playing a very soft game physically, and that's completely unlike the way they normally play in the National League, where they don't necessarily pound you, but they do get in front of you on a regular basis.
Lebeau drops it for Corson, but he was checked by Klemashov. Oderline. Just outside the zone. Berdichevsky to Kurashov. Good move on Lebeau at center. Klemashov pokes it into the Canadian zone. Lyle Oderline behind his goal. Mike Keane. Canadiens coming off a couple of big wins over the Bruins, maybe lacking a little spark tonight in this game against Khimik. Good collision between Trupno and Keane. Gallianin to Trupno. Slowly into Montreal territory. Backhands it behind the goal. Bergeron directs it to the corner. Yashin took a solid hit from Mike Keane. And we've got our first penalty of the hockey game to the Canadiens, Mike Keane.
Well, I think Keane was trying to liven up his teammates. Many of them have been caught snoring on the bench and haven't got into this game. And Keane ran over a couple of Khimik players and caught the attention of the referee on the second one. And here's the penalty call right here. And the reason he might have called it was that the referee nearly got hit on Keane's trip to take out the Khimik player. Now we'll take a look at the Khimik power play. Other teams that have come over from the Soviet Union have made the power play a real art to watch. And we'll see if it's true of this team. You know, one of the problems when you play these teams in the middle of your schedule is you don't have a chance to prepare for them at all. And there are some things that you ought to do when you play against a European team, whether it be the Russians, the Czechoslovakians, the Swedes, or the Finns. But you have to practice it a time or two because it's quite a change compared to the National League style of play. And of course, the Montreal Canadiens started thinking about this game today and didn't have any chance to get ready for it. Perhaps that's one of the reasons why they're having a little trouble.
Khimik looking for its first goal with the man advantage on this tour.
There have been very few penalties in any of the games, so the power play has not had much of a chance to operate.
Veselgin to Yashin. He slaps it in for Khimik. Andrei Bartolnov got spun around in the corner, but controls the puck to Veselgin at the point. Back to Bartolnov in the corner. 2 Soviets in front of the goal. Altanov hanging on to Selgan. Back to Bartolnov. At the right point for Ulanov, and Richer got a stick in the way. And the puck's back in the Khimik zone. Ryan Skrudland forechecking. He and Selgan go to the corner. Titov now on the ice for Khimik. Zalapukin. Drop pass to Titov. He was knocked down by Brunet.
Well, Khimik has their big line out there of his top scorers, so we'll see in the last minute of this power play whether they can get anything done or not.
50 seconds to go on the penalty to Keane. Zalapukin at center. To Selyanin. He stops at the point, gives it to Zalapukin. Khimik setting up on the power play. Bartolnov back for Selyanin, and went off Courtnall's stick to center. Smirnov. Hit Brunet. Selyanin forced back. Good penalty killing by the Canadiens. Selyanin to Zalapukin. Get around Brunet. Looking for Bartolnov. And to Jardins. Can't clear it against Titov. And hits Zalapukin. Brunet and Zalapukin along the board. Zalapukin goes to the net. A backhand shot off the side of the goal. 5 seconds in the penalty. Selyanin for Khimik. As the Canadiens are back at full strength. Toropchenko. A rink-wide pass to Smirnov. Dmitry Bartolnov, who has scored in the second period for Khimik. Some whistling at the Forum. Soviet fans famous for that. Lefebvre. His pass went off Maslov. Naglin to Toropchenko. He swept it into the Montreal zone. Lefebvre to Turgeon for Chorsky. Picked up by Savard. He lost control of the puck, and Khimik clears it to center. Lefebvre right back in. 11:13 to go, second period. It's 2-0 Khimik. Kurashov. Pass to Shuryev. He hits Naglin. Into the slot, a slap shot, rebound, backhand shot, and a good save by Bergeron on Maslov. Svoboda for Turgeon. That play broken up at the line. Naglin to Maslov. That played off the glass by Savard. Shuryev, a quick shot from a bad angle off the chest of Bergeron, and he drops it for Odeline. Peter Svoboda slaps it in for Montreal. Kurashov touches the puck, and Svoboda didn't go far enough, causing an icing on Montreal.
Quality Video presents even more bone-crushing hits. Hockey's Hardest Hitters, Volume 2. The great shots. The cheap shots. All in one exclusive video cassette. Hockey's Hardest Hitters, Volume 2. Presenting hockey's all-time all-stars. From shore to oar, from Bellevue to Boston. It's a trip through hockey's time tunnel. Hockey's Hardest Hitters, Volume 2. And hockey's all-time all-stars. Only from Quality Video. In stores now.
Well, Bergeron's been a busy man in the Montreal net, and he's had to make some big saves. And here's the advantage of playing on the wrong wing. You see, you cut into the middle, and you're on the inside of the rink rather than the outside. And number 10, Nikolai Maslov, let a hard shot go that Bergeron stopped.
Shot off the draw by Trukno, didn't get through. He scored the first Khimik goal late in the first period. Gerald Vidic off the boards to Keane. LeBeau from center on the left side to Shane Corson. Keane goes for the net. The play is broken up. Klemashov comes out with Trukno. Berdichevsky joining the play. Trukno looks around, takes a shot off the blocker of Bergeron. Mike Keane for Montreal cuts dangerously in front of his net and loses the puck. Berdichevsky takes a shot. That hits Didick. Puck still loose in front. Keane for the Canadiens. To Stefan LeBeau. Flips it in for Corson, going right in, and he's poke checked by Chervyakov. Corson losing his balance, gets it back, shoots. Chervyakov to save. LeBeau rolling puck. Scores!
Well, Chervykov thought he had the puck under him. That was just the third and fourth shot of the period by the Montreal Canadiens. Corson let a pretty hard shot go, and LeBeau got a stick on it as it squirted underneath Chervykov. Corson in the slot. After he fell down, he lets a pretty good shot go. LeBeau comes out from behind the net, hits it there, and then hits it one more time to put it in to make it 2-1. And the fans enjoyed the Montreal getting back into this hockey game, and Stéphane LeBeau put them ahead.
10:24, the time of the goal by Stéphane LeBeau. And it's a 2-1 hockey game. Smirnov, Bartolnov with a pass. Schneider back for the puck and icing right off the face-off against Khimik. Now a 2-1 hockey game at the Forum.
Here's another look at the Montreal goal. Carson, a hard shot from the top of the circle. Not handled very well by the Russian goalie. LeBeau tips it in to make it 2-1 with 9:28 to go in the second. And maybe that goal will get the Montreal Canadiens moving. They have been in neutral for most of this game.
Strudlin, Peterson, and Richer, the forward line for Montreal, face off to the left of Chervykov. G.Готье set to drop it in. Puck is cleared by Yashin. Bartolnov after Richer. Schneider played it off the glass, and the puck's at center. Naida to Smirnov. Bartolnov back to Smirnov in his own zone to Seljanik. Smirnov nearly tossed it up. Strudlin to Stéphane Richer with room on the right side, going for the net. He's poke checked again by Chervykov. He's done that 2 or 3 times in the hockey game.
Well, Richer was under a little heat from behind and never quite had the time he would have liked to, but it was a nice play by the goalie to poke check the puck away from before Richer could get it across the net.
Kurashov across to Shuryev. Titov on the left side to Shuryev, going for the net. Got a weak shot away, and Bergeron made the save. Titov trying to center it. Zalapukin. Penalty upcoming to the Canadiens. Dmitry Bartolnov turning in the circle. Extra man on Shapazov, and he scores!
Boy, Zalapukin, did he get something on that one? All 3 Soviet goals have gone up into the top part of the net, and 2 of the 3 have been one-time shots on a nice soft pass. And Zalapukin gave Bergeron no chance to stop it here. Zalapukin in the slot area. Number 20 right here. Shoves the glove out of the way. He scored that with only 1 glove on. And you can see it was a rifle job to the top. It actually went off the crossbar and down into the net. Bergeron no chance at all on it. Some shoddy defensive zone coverage by the Montreal Canadiens allowed the Soviet team, although they had their goalie out and they were 6 skaters against 5, to get that shot away.
Khimik restoring its 2-goal lead. 3-1 the score. Desjardins sends it in for Castles and Portnoy, and Chervykov covers up at the side of the goal. Zalapukin has given Khimik a 3-1 lead. Boy, what a shot, eh?
Big time. Hey,
We don't have to explain it. Grant does.
Mark wants me to.
Oh, does he? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, well, excuse me. back.
Valerie Solopukin makes it 3-1 Himik on a rocket shot from about 30 feet out.
Shots 20-12 in favor of the visitors. Desjardins at the point. Backhands it into the corner for Castles. Let it go to Brunet behind the goal. Centers it. Here's Portnoy. Backhand shot. Good save. Castles working his way into the slot. Failed to take a shot, and the puck slides out.
Montreal are looking for the perfect play all night, and it's got them in trouble more than once.
Svoboda. De Brunet gains the line. Now the puck is forced out by Miller. Toropchenko along the boards to help out. Turashov hangs on to the puck, pass through center. Then Maslov, as Toropchenko trailing, picks it up. He's checked by Svoboda along the boards. Portnoy. De Brunet. Knocked off his stick by Ulanov. Maslov for Khimik. Can't control it. Svoboda in his own zone. 7 minutes left, second period. A 2-goal lead for Khimik. Toropchenko slides the puck ahead for Klemashov, trying to cut to the goal. Couldn't get a shot away. Svoboda ran into his goaltender Bergeron. He's very fast here at the Forum. Ulanov off the boards to center. Desjardins sends it back in. Turgeon checked by Ulanov. Here comes Trutno with Berdichevsky. Trutno shoots a weak shot wide. Khimik can't keep it in. Daigneault to Savard. Smirnoff stopped him at center. Trutno for Khimik. He's hauled down by Didick. Flips it around the glass. Smirnoff hustles to keep it in. Harold Didick behind his net. To Tom Chorsky. To Denny Savard. Turns at the line. Gives the puck to Turgeon. Back in front. And the play broken up again by Khimik. Turgeon will try it again for the Canadiens. To Savard. A spin around, and he put it right on the stick of Smirnoff. And the fans at the Forum are becoming restless. Andrei Bartolnov, a shot off the arm of Bergeron. Daigneault up the boards to Savard. He shoots it in off the stick of Cherdyakov to the corner. Puck popped away from Corson. And the puck is fired down the ice. Odeline back for it. Icing Khimik. 5:18 left, second period. 3-1 for Khimik. Kind of funny to hear them booing an exhibition. Okay. Yeah, we're having great fun here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to remind you that before the start of the third period, Khimik and Canadiens players will go head-to-head with opposing goalies in a shootout, modeled after one of hockey's most exciting plays.
Bruce Buchanan with Harry Neal and Grant Pollock. We're at the Forum in Montreal for Super Series 90. The Canadiens taking on Khimik tonight, and the visitors leading 3-1.
5:18 to go in the second period, and the second period has been not a lot different from the first. The best team in the rink tonight is the team in gold.
Stefan Lebeau talking things over with Shane Corson. Face off to the right of Cherdyakov. Corson bumped on the boards by Shuryev. He goes down. Lebeau trying to help out. Although the Canadiens marksman tonight has the puck in the corner. To Shane Corson. Got a shot away. Cherdyakov, the save, seemed to have a little trouble with it as Keane mixes it up in front with Shuryev.
Well, coming up in the second intermission, Grant will talk with Canadiens President Ronald Corey, and we will have a shootout before the start of the third period. Each team will nominate 5 shooters. They will alternately take the shots, with the Soviet team shooting first, and the team with the most goals wins the shootout. Now this is old stuff to the Khimik team. There's Mr. Corey, a dynamic personality in the National Hockey League. And as I was saying, Khimik's had 3 of these shootouts, and Trucknall, who's got a goal tonight, has scored 3 for 3 in the shootout department. So it may be an interesting addition to this game. At least we know the Canadiens are going to get some chances to score on it.
Looking forward to near the end of our second intermission tonight. 4:45 left in the second. 3-1 Khimik. Matthew Schneider behind his net, watched by Maslow. Stefan Lebeau. Not as far as center, then was Kokchuk, and Maslow rolls it back in for Khimik. Schneider. To Shane Corson. Starting out for the Canadiens. He dumps it into the corner. Then goes after Ulanov behind the goal. Canadiens trying to get a little more physical. Stefan Lebeau at center. He slaps it into the Khimik zone. Keane in the corner. Corson throwing his weight around. Stefan Lebeau. Off the side of the goal. Lebeau still has it for Corson. Chips a shot off the blocker of Cherdyakov. Veselgin for Khimik. To Toropchenko. And he whacks it out. Lebeau was having words with Ulanov. Don't think they understood each other. Trutno at his own line, pushed by Schneider.
I think that Ulanov understood Lebeau when he cracked him across the side of the helmet with his stick.
Richer for Montreal. Stick handling into the Soviet zone, goes around Ulanov. Centered it, but no Canadian there. Shot by Desjardins. And the puck is cleared. Canadiens trying to pick up the pace, trailing by a couple of goals. Smirnov to Berdichevsky for Trutno. He cuts into the slot. Lost control of the puck. Was looking for a penalty. Doesn't get one. Strudlin through center. Into the Khimik zone. He lost the puck to Selyanin. 2:48 left in the second period. Desjardins at center. Across to Lefebvre. He plays it off the boards to Strudlin, who slides it into the Soviet zone, but Selyanin controls again. Smirnov to Berdichevsky. Long shot off the blocker of Bergeron. Berdichevsky to Trutno. He was knocked down by Brian Strudlin, and slashing will be the call to the acting Canadiens captain as Trutno is still on the ice.
That's the second Soviet that was hurt. Veselgin got hurt on a shot by Richer earlier. And here Trutno goes into the end of the rink and isn't in perfect health yet. Rink under with the assistance of one player. You notice, Bruce, the Russian trainers never go on the ice when a player's hurt. Their job is to get off on their own or with the help of their teammates.
Kind of tough when you get hurt. Svoboda. Through center with Castles. Back for Svoboda. He tipped the shot wide of the goal. 2:10 left second period. 3-1 Khimik. Kurashov. To Shurya. Waiting for his mates. Titov in the corner. Gives it to Zelapukin. Trying to feed the point, and his pass nearly bounced off a Canadian skate in the goal. Kurashov left point. Khimik on a power play as Strudlin is off for slashing. Shurya. Kvartalnov back to Shurya. He goes in deep, trying to throw it through the slot. And Russ Courtnall speeds away for Montreal. Kurashov is back. Courtnall a slap shot off the chest of Cherdyakov. Dmitry Vartelnov gave it to Toropchenko. Schneider nearly gave the puck away. Khimik still after it. Kurashov at his own line across to Ulanov. Puck stolen by Russ Courtnall, but Veselgin covered up. Veselgin, the oldest player on this Khimik squad. Yashin drops it off for Andrei Vartelnov. Good hit on Yashin. Ulyanov slap shot, bounced off Schneider to the side of the goal. Bartolnov at the point to Veselgin. Back to Bartolnov, his shot off Schneider, bouncing at the side of the goal. Dmitry Bartolnov, back of the point, Ulyanov, a slap shot off the goal post. Veselgin in from the point. Bartolnov gets it to Ulyanov. To Andrei Bartolnov in the corner to brother Dmitry. A shot from the side of the net, and Bergeron made the save. Penalty is over to Strudlin. There's a lead pass for him. It was too high, 20 seconds in the period. Strudlin hops around Veselgin, but Nida covers up. He was tripped by Strudlin. Chorsky to Savard. Here's Dmitry Bartolnov flying down the right side. To Andrei Bartolnov, trying to jam it in, and Bergeron made the save as Khimik came very close again at the end of the second period. The score at the end of the second is Khimik 3 and the Canadiens 1. We'll return with more of NHL Super Series in just a moment.
Yes. Yeah. We're televising the 6 Canadian games. This game tonight is not televised. Yeah. I'm from Calgary, by the way. Yes. You work from What's that? Yep. Okay. I work for an independent station, and we carry the Flames midweek games. 30 Flames games. Calgary for me means a lot. 1986. Yeah, I know. I remember seeing you there. Yeah. We televised last night's game in Edmonton, by the way. It was a good game. Flames won it. Yeah. Hello, Ronnie.
Hello.
How are you?
Good to see you. Thanks for coming over.
All the best if I don't see you at Christmas.
Same to you, sir, and your wife.
Can't believe Christmas already. Boy, oh boy.
How was Florida? Did you get any time to play?
No, I played one game.
One?
It was a very busy meeting this year.
Yeah, sure.
Beat Himik 3-2, and on the island last Saturday, the Islanders 2, Himik 1 in the shootout. So it is a novel twist to this game. And there's Stefan Richer wishing Bergeron. I'm sure the goalies don't like this part of it.
Both teams are back on the ice. Both goaltenders warming up for the shootout.
In some leagues, the International League, I believe, is one where if the score is tied at the end of the game, this is what they do to decide who gets the extra points. They each get a point for the tie, and then they have a shootout for the extra point. And it is a very popular part of the game in the leagues in which it's done. Here is the best player, in my opinion, on the Himik team, number 20, Zalapukin. And if you notice, the 3 goals Himik scored were all up high on Bergeron. You wonder if that's just a coincidence or whether they got a scouting report on the Montreal Canadiens.
Zalapukin with a goal and an assist in tonight's hockey game, and he'll start the shootout for Khimik. Facing Jean-Claude Bergeron. And let's see, Harry, like you say, if he goes high.
Well, don't forget the Russian players have a far bigger curve on their stick blades than do the Canadiens, and the one thing that big curve allows you to do is get the puck up higher sooner than with a straight blade.
Zalapukin getting set. Linesman П.Шампо talking things over with Jean-Claude Bergeron. He's probably saying to him, why do I have to go through this?
Well, this is a penalty shot contest. And Savard, who's on bench, will be the first shooter for the Montreal Canadiens. He ought to have a trick or two up his sleeve.
The announcer Claude Mouton just explaining to the fans what the rules are in the shootout. You already know 5 players from each team will get 1 shot.
I guess it's been a real highlight of the games so far in this tour. We'll see how the fans here enjoy it.
We got to pay attention, Harry. This happens fast. We're just about ready to go. It's Zelepukin against Bergeron. First shot of the shootout. And the save by Bergeron on Zelepukin.
He tried to go between his legs, and if you score, it looks good, but if you miss on that with that strategy, you look like you wouldn't give it much of an effort.
Denny Savard for the Canadiens against Alexei Cherbyakov. And I think he got his toe down.
Yes, he did. Savard tried to keep it on the ice after making a fake or two. If he'd have gone upstairs with it, I think he would have scored, but a quick left leg took the goal out of the way.
Both teams 0 for 1, and next up, Dmitry Bartolnov, the leading scorer in Soviet hockey last season, against Bergeron. Good save again by Bergeron, and Khimik's 0 for 2.
Well, even the players that aren't in this contest seem to really be enjoying it. Maybe the NHL should think seriously of deciding tie games with this kind of an event at the end of the game. Now this guy will score. He's a natural goal scorer.
See if you're right, Sylvain Turgeon.
Oh,
no, he didn't.
He looked like you and I on that one again. Tried to go through the goalie's legs. And it always looks like a horrible idea if it doesn't work.
Still looking for our first goal in the shootout. Both clubs 0 for 2, and next is Anatoly Nida for Khimik, number 32. Right-handed shot. Bergeron in goal for Montreal. Nida scores as he went to the backhand.
Well, he went up high after he pulled it to the side. Bergeron might have had it if he'd have kept the shot low. But a nice backhand shot to put Khimik ahead. Now, if anybody's going to score, Bruce, this magician, he can make the puck talk on the way from center ice to the net.
Trying to even the count for Montreal. Save again by Cherbyakov. They must think he has a weakness between the legs.
Well, Montreal's goal-scoring talents of yesteryear have been unavailable this year for most part.
Berdachevsky for Khimik. Can assure a tie if he scores here. Lost control of the puck. And Bergeron came sliding out to make the save.
Well, as soon as Bergeron saw that Berdachevsky lost the puck, he came out, and Berdachevsky's only chance was to go across in front of the net, and of course he was poke-checked.
Stéphane Lebeau for Montreal. Saved by Cherbyakov. Savard's really the only Canadian that tried to deke. Canadiens are 0 for 4. Khimik 1 for 4.
Truckno got hurt at the end of the second period, but if you give a hockey player a chance to take a penalty shot, he'll recover quickly.
Khimik can win the shootout with a goal here. Scores! A nice move by Truckno. And Khimik scores 2 goals. They'll win the shootout. But we will finish it. Russ Courtnall, the final Canadian to shoot on Cherbyakov. Let's see if he can shut Montreal out. Goal post for Courtnall and a shutout for Cherbyakov in the shootout.
Well, 5 penalty shots and you don't score any. Then have normal number of misses. Only on one stop did Chernyakov have to move to stop it. All the rest of them hit him or Courtnall hit the post. 2-0 in the shootout.
Khimik wins it 2-0. We'll return with third period action in a moment. We walk on each other up and down. And the first star of tonight's game. Back at the Forum in Montreal, Bruce Buchanan with Harry Neal and Grant Pollock. The shootout over. Khimik won that 2-0. They lead on the scoreboard 3-1 as we're back to the live action. Lefebvre to Desjardins. Third period underway. Khimik with a 2-goal lead. Lebeau to Corson. Off to the zone line, back to Lefebvre. Kvartalnov and Titov forechecking for Khimik. LeBeau moving in with Mike Dean. He knocked off the puck, and it's Dmitry Kvartalnov one-on-one on Lefebvre. Long shot, that drifts wide of the goal. Zelepukin from the corner. Jammed it in front for Titov. Desjardins gets it to Corson. Now to LeBeau, Keane on the right side. LeBeau to Corson, slap shot, big rebound from Cherdyakov. But Dmitry Kvartalnov is there for Khimik. Gives it to Zelepukin, moving in on the right side. Lefebvre off the corner boards. Kvartalnov there, dumped it in front. And Chorsky clears it for Montreal. Canadiens will have to open it up here in the third period here.
They got to use each other a lot more than they have in the first two and stop trying to do it all individually and move the puck a little bit.
From a shot. Missed Trutno with a pass. Svoboda on his own line to Savard. Now to Turgeon. Good move at the line on Ulanov. Turgeon to the corner. Tried to slide it in front for Chorsky, but Veselgan was there. He rolls it up the boards for Ulanov. His pass intercepted by Svoboda. To Chorsky. 1.5 minutes gone in the third period. It's 3-1 Khimik. Ulanov trying to go around the boards. Turgeon was there. Shot from a bad angle. And Cherdyakov made the save. Turgeon working behind the goal. Veselgan drops it to Ulanov. Get his own man Berdichevsky, who goes rink wide to Trutno. His shot just wide of the goal. Turgeon to center. He's stopped at the line. Not sure yet. Matt Schneider to Turgeon. Rolls it into the corner. And the Canadiens make a couple of changes. Sure yet. Kvartalnov looking for Nida. Peterson for the Canadiens. Kurashov. Then Nida at center. Kvartalnov sends it into the Montreal zone. Took a check from Didick. Shuryev to the side of the goal. Bergeron handed it off to Schneider. Now to Richer. Hopped over his stick. Kurashov shoots wide of the goal. Kvartalnov trying to stuff it in front. Skrudland to Peterson. Now to Stefan Richer. Long shot. Scores!
Well, the one thing the Montreal Canadiens have not been doing enough of tonight is shooting the puck. Always trying to make that extra pass, it seems. Well, I think Richer decided when he got that puck in the neutral zone that he was going to shoot it. He makes a great play to take that pass off his skate, and then he just blows it by the goaltender here on one that I'm sure the goalie thought he should have had it. Here's what the goalie looked at. We all know this guy can shoot, but on the short side from 62 feet out, will end in Siberia if you let too many of those in playing for Russia.
Stefan Richer gets the Canadiens to within one. Has a 5-game point scoring streak going in the NHL. Makes it a 3-2 hockey game. Maslov into the corner against Daigneault. Toropchenko working against Skrudland. Put it right through the crease. And Maslov couldn't get a stick on it. Daigneault for the Canadiens. To Desjardins. Out to Stefan Richer at center. Moving down the right side against Smirnov. Turns along the boards. Put it behind the net. Zelyanin. To Maslov. He dropped it to Milgren. Has Toropchenko with him. Toropchenko takes the pass. Long shot off the chest protector of Bergeron. Toropchenko along the boards. At the point. Veselgan a shot. Save. Big rebound. And it's controlled by Skrudland. I think we're in for a wide open third period. Stefan Richer in front for Peterson. He kept it. Good save by Cherdyakov. Melgan to center. Gives it to Toropchenko. Back to Melgan. The shot off the stick of Daigneault. The puck goes over the glass and into the crowd. Stefan Richer has scored in the third. Canadiens are within one.
Glad he scored, makes it nice.
Yeah, you're not.
Keeping you up.
McLean.
All right. Peterson. Was it Peterson that tried it? Tipped it. Montreal a little more determined offensively. Peterson goes to the net after he makes the pass. And the Russian goaltender made an awfully good stop on a tip-in by Peterson. Richer brought the rink alive with that long 62-footer and got his team back into it. Now the Montreal Canadiens in 16 minutes with a determined effort could still win this hockey game.
Face-off edge of the circle to the right of Bergeron. Won by Khimik. A Sullivan from the point. A slop shot that went off Castles to the corner. Bay behind his net gives it to Peter Svoboda. Russ Courtnall. Went off the skate of Titov. And Serdyakov came out to play it. Titov, where's number 13? Obviously not superstitious. Brunet centers it. Elapukin. Stick handling at his own line. Courtnall nearly stole it from him. And he pushed and shoved with the Selden. Svoboda to Courtnall. And an offside on the Canadiens at the line, although they continued to play.
Benoit Brunet, 22 years old, hurt his knee while touring Russia this 27th overall in 86. He's only played 8 games, has 3 points, burned up the American Hockey League last year. And again, it's an attempt to add a little offense to this Montreal team. It remains to be seen whether he can do in this league what he did in the American League.
Lemashov, Trupno, and Berdichevsky up front for Khimik against LeBeau, Keane, and Corson. Back into the Montreal zone. Matt Schneider to it. And an icing call on Khimik. Nearly 5 minutes have been played in the third.
Well, I asked the Soviet coach, Vladimir Vasilyev, if they traded players in the Soviet League the way they do here. And he said that this is the first year when players can be transferred from one team to another for money. And they call it a transfer, not a trade. Red Army can get a player because all boys have to serve 2 years in the Army. And for the first time in the history of Soviet hockey, after the 2 years, if Red Army doesn't give them back to you, they owe you some money. So he thinks this will help spread out the talent in the league, and Red Army won't end up with the best team every year. And they didn't win it last year, and they're not in first place at this point this year.
Moscow Dynamo did. They'll have them on New Year's Day. Center for Corson, he scores!
Well, the Montreal fans have enjoyed the first 5 minutes of the third period. And Shane Corson, who's really had a tough time scoring this year, a turnover behind the net. Corson into the slot and quickly gets rid of a pass that beats the Russian goaltender up high. Here's another look at it. You have to give Keane credit for fighting off the check, and then nobody took Corson, who sat in the slot and had a free shot. Although he had to get it away quickly, he did, and put it right on the net. And this Montreal crowd has been brought back to life with the 2 goals that the Canadiens have scored here early in period 3.
Brand new hockey game, tied at 3. As the Canadiens get third period goals from Richer and now Shane Corson.
I also asked Darcy Rota, who's touring with this team, what the most common requests by the Russians are. Hockey equipment, he said. CCM supplies helmets, jerseys, socks, pants, and gloves. The players want sticks and skates. Fresh fruit was also very high on the list. Evidently in Russia there's very little of that. And he said the soda pop's gone right away at every meal. They eat every meal together.
Gerald Diddick. Out to center. His backhand pass hit Keane. And the Canadiens offside.
Well, Shane Corson, who is tied as the leading plus-minus player on the Montreal Canadiens, but only has 5 goals in 23 games, plus 10. And I talked to Pat Burns about Shane's slow start offensively, and he said he's not as worried about it as Corson is, because Corson plays good, strong two-way hockey, despite the fact he's not chipping in as many goals as usual.
Yashin dumps it in, bouncing puck. Didick can't flip it out. Not in the corner to Andrei Bartolnov. Had a sidestep, a check from Didick was hauled down. Keane to Corson, a 2-on-2 for the Canadiens. Corson back in front for Keane, and Smirnoff made a good play. Here's Yashin with Bartolnov, a 2-on-1. Yashin scores!
Well, it looked like Bergeron blew that one. It was a quick shot and a wrist shot, so there wasn't much in the way of a warning. But it wasn't as hard a shot as the other 3 goals that Khimik scored. Here's a look at it. It's kind of a one-on-one, and from the top of the circle, perhaps using the defenseman as a screen, Yashin lets go a quick wrist shot past the Montreal defenseman, Odelin, and into the net. Now, in all fairness to Bergeron, I think that puck hit Odelin. Certainly you could tell by the reaction of Bergeron that he was surprised by the shot.
Yashin's second goal on the tour has Khimik back on top by a goal. Svoboda was dumped at the side of the net by Toropchenko, and he got his number. Savard with Turgeon. Pass behind Russ Courtnall, he was tripped up. Melgan to center. Maslov into the corner after the puck. Gives it to Toropchenko. For Melgan, let it go, and Turgeon sends Courtnall away. Has some room on the right side after a good move on Veselgan. Looking for Turgeon. He just missed a check from Ulanov. Broke his stick on the play. Lefebvre back in his own zone for Montreal. 13:25 left, third period. 4-3 Khimik. Third shot. Hooks it up the boards to Zelapukin. Melgan can't get anywhere. Zelapukin following up. Good move at the line. On one skate, gave it to Bartolnov. His shot, and he rattled it off the leg of Lefebvre. Courtnall. Turning at center, he lost the puck to Titov. Titov to Bartolnov. Left the puck for Zelapukin. He was checked by Richer. Titov in front. Bartolnov off the side of the goal. This line's been flying tonight for Khimik. Bartolnov gets away from Strudlin. Into the slot. Still has the puck for Titov. And finally, the Canadiens gain control. Lefebvre for Richer. Impressive line for Khimik. Sure, you have a long shot. And Bergeron made the save on that one. Lefebvre to Daniel. He slots it in from center, goes back, came right in front, and cleared away by Smirnoff, who looks at his goalie, Chervyakov. Boards can be lively in Montreal. The board in his own zone with Berdichevsky after him. Peterson. To Stefan Richer. He scored in the third for the Canadiens. Checked by Plumashot. Comes to the point. The Jardin shot. Off the stick of Berdichevsky. Strudlin behind the goal looking for Richer. Gallianin up the boards for Trutno. Strudlin continues to fight for the puck. Gets it to Richer behind the net. Trying to come in front. Put it right through the crease. Peterson couldn't get a stick on it. Peterson to Svoboda. Smirnoff rolls it out. Peterson back in to Strudlin with a pass. Gallianin nearly gave it away to Strudlin. Berdichevsky for Khimik. Long shot off the glove of Bergeron. Big rebound, and Svoboda knocks it back to his goalie, who holds on for a face-off. Yashin has put Khimik on top of the Canadiens.
11:24 to go, and a 4-3 lead here in the third period at the Montreal Forum.
Schneider and LeBeau on the face-off, won by the Canadiens. Schneider stopping in front of his own goal, across to Didick. Skates the center and shoots it in. Ulanov for Khimik. He's bumped by Mike Keane. Corson in to help. Veselgan. To Bartolnov. He rolls it into Canadiens territory. Yashin after Didick. Up the boards for Corson. Ulanov is hit by Corson. Dropped his stick. LeBeau for Montreal. With Gerald Didick. He fires it in, comes off the corner boards to Corson, couldn't get a shot away. Now he centers it for LeBeau. Nida trying to kick it out. Now he passes off to Bartolnov. Moving in against Schneider. Stopped. Good move. Takes the shot. Bergeron the save on the short side. And he holds on as Andrei Bartolnov showed some pretty good skill.
Our technical people in the truck had an enormous assignment. I told them we wanted to get any good body check, and here's the only one that's been thrown tonight, Toropchenko on Swoboda. And that's one reason why this game at times has just been an east-west affair, a friendly match, because there hasn't been much in the way of bitterness between the two teams.
Elgin and Savard to the left of Bergeron. Back to Desjardins, takes it behind the net. Now starts out. Canadiens looking for the equalizer after tying it at the 5-minute mark. Yashin put Khimik on top again. Shuryev off the boards to center. Maslov backhands it into the Canadian zone as we near the midway mark of the third period. Lefebvre for the Canadiens. Savard to Courtnall. Turgeon, the left winger. Savard takes the shot. He was checked by Kurashov. Turgeon behind the goal to Savard. In front of Savard, the shot, a roller. And the save was made by Cherdyakov. Maslov drops it off for Melgan, going for the net. Can't get a shot away. Maslov might have backhand off the side of the net. Lefebvre ahead for Turgeon. At the right point, it's Melgan. He waits, takes the shot, and a pad save by Bergeron. Toropchenko from a bad angle. Another save by Bergeron. Lefebvre for Montreal. To Russ Courtnall. He's forced back by Titov. Courtnall had to be careful. Dmitry Vartelnov was after him. Andrew Castle in on the left side. He's cut off by Smirnov, pinned on the boards, and it's Titov for Khimik. To Selyanin. Out at center to Zalapukin. Vartelnov picks it up. A shot. He scores the second goal of the night for Dmitry Vartelnov.
I guarantee you that Vartelnov missed that shot, and it went between the legs of Bergeron. I think he was trying to go upstairs, and I think Bergeron thought he was, and it just kind of flutters. It's a 2-on-2, and the Montreal defenseman moves out, Swoboda, and then the shot is taken, and it was like a change-up. It fooled the batter, and the batter there was Bergeron. Here's a better look at it. It hits Swoboda in the skate, comes right back, and there Vartelnov fired a slow-motion shot between the legs of Bergeron, and it is again a 2-goal lead for Khimik with 8:56 to go in the game.
Second goal of the night and third of the tour for Dmitry Vartelnov. 5-3 Khimik. Lead pass for Castles failed to click. Zalapukin trying to use the speed. Chorsky beat him to the puck. Grenay in the corner. Lost the puck to Selgan. Titov moves it to Zalapukin. Dumps it in on the right side for Vartelnov. And Daigneault touches the puck, so it's icing against Khimik.
Well, there's Vartelnov, as we mentioned 2 or 3 times, led the Russian League in scoring last year. He's a lazy little guy, I'll tell you that. He only goes when he thinks he's got a chance to do something offensively. He coasts over to the bench when he changes on the fly. And perhaps that's why he hasn't been drafted, Bruce, because he is a talented player. And I'm sure the North American scouts have seen lots of this guy as he grew up playing in the Soviet League.
Strudlin getting set for the face-off against Klemashov to the right of Cherdyakov. Khimik came into the third with a 2-goal lead. After winning the shootout, Canadiens tied it. Khimik's countered with 2 more. Strudlin to Peterson, a shot and a pad save by Cherdyakov. Stefan Richer. One hand on the stick. Peterson shot nowhere near the goal. Schneider in from the right point. Had to whack it down the boards. Sticks at the puck, and it came out to center. Mark Peterson for Montreal. 4 Soviets were waiting at the line. Kirashov. Berdachevsky knocked down from behind, looking for a penalty. .48 left in the third. Richer straight up the ice. Checked by Clemashov, Trutno to Yashin. Off the boards and into Montreal territory. Desjardins to Lefebvre. Tried to slap it in. That hits Selyanin. And he's been shaken up a little bit. Stays on the ice. Moves the puck across to Smirnov. Now to Nida at center. He shoots it in. Puck came off the corner boards. Lefebvre banks it to Desjardins. Ahead to Brian Skrudland. He fires it in to the Himik zone. Smirnov around the boards. Good hit by Skrudland on Smirnov. And now he looks at the referee.
Well, don't forget now, this referee travels, or used to, travel with the Russian team and practice with him. Every time a Russian's hit, he pleads with the referee for a penalty.
Mike Keane in the corner. Bumped by Nida. Fired around the boards by Ulanov. The Desjardins shot came to the goal and steered away by Chervyakov. Corson knocked off his stick by Smirnov. LeBeau for the Canadiens. Behind the net, centers it. And Keane was all tied up by Ulanov. Bartolnov. This is Andre. Stick handles into the slot. A backhand that goes wide. Lefebvre for the Canadiens. 6:22 left in the third. It's 5-3 Himik looking for their first win on their NHL tour. Sullivan to Toropchenko. Himik nearly caught with too many men on the ice. Svoboda to Russ Courtnall. Checked at the line by Zelapukin, and Courtnall ran into the boards and gets up slowly.
So many Montreal players trying to beat 3 or 4 Himik players. They've done a nice job, Himik, when they get up 2 goals, especially as there's 4 people lined up at the blue line, and their chance of getting the puck through all of them are pretty slim.
Melgan off the boards to center. Didick fires it in off the glass. Turgeon checked by Shuryev. He moves it to Titov. Now to Bartolnov. Trying to set up Titov in front. Bartolnov still after it. A giveaway. Titov shoots, scores!
Some brutal defensive play by the Montreal Canadiens to give Himik an extra chance. And one thing we found out early in this game is that they've got some guys who can shoot the puck. And here's the shot by Jermaine Titov. And look at the time he had. Per Bergeron had no chance. He's in his 9th year with Himik, and last year had 6 goals in 44 games. But he didn't get that kind of an opportunity. And the Canadiens had the puck, but they turned it over, and this game has slipped into a rout by Himik over Montreal. 6-3 with 5:19 to go.
And heading for the exits. Titov's second goal on the tour. And they've answered back with 3 straight after the Canadiens tied it at the 5-minute mark in the third period. Clemashov to Trutno. He shoots it in. Berdachevsky giving chase against Schneider. Up the boards to Daigneault. Out comes Skrudland with Richer and Peterson, a 3-on-2. Richer, slap shot, kicked away by Chervyakov. Richer beat him from well out earlier in this period. Richer out of the corner, Skrudland a shot, and the save by Chervyakov. Pressure now by Montreal, Skrudland from the corner. To Peterson. For Richer, that's intercepted by Selyanin. He gives it to Trutno with 4.5 minutes left. His long shot, high off the glass. Schneider for Montreal. Vasiliev, the Soviet head coach, making changes. Off the blocker of Chervyakov. Shane Corson. Back to Lefebvre. That's at center to Corson. Can't beat 3 Himik players.
A perfect example of what I just mentioned. The Russians lined up at their own blue line, kind of daring you to see if you can stick handle by them all.
Selgin's pass. The clearing attempt picked off by Odeline. Lefebvre across to Odeline. Off Mike Keane's stick at center. Good collision between Corson and Ulanov. Bartolnov gets it to Nida. Back to Bartolnov on the right side. He's hit by LeFay. Corson dumps it out. Canadians beginning to show their frustration a little bit. Kurashov to Yashin. Andrei Bartolnov at center. Tried to drop it back. And LeBeau nearly had a chance to go to the net. There's a clearing attempt. Bounced off Corson right to Chervyakov, and he holds on for the face-off. Dmitry Bartolnov has 2 tonight for Khimik. Okay. Back at the Forum in Montreal, Bruce Buchanan with Harry Neal and Grant Pollock. 3:09 left in the third period, and Khimik on its way to victory for the first time this season on its NHL tour, leading 6-3. Bard and Melgan on the faceoff, and around the boards to Toropchenko. He threw a big hit on Svoboda, long shot. Bergeron got a stick on it. The puck goes over the glass and into the seats. A lot of them vacated here at the Forum, with Khimik leading by 3.
Ask him, he'll know. They didn't want to know.
That's what they're on.
.259 remaining third period, 6-3 Khimik. Face off to the left of Jean-Claude Bergeron. Shuryev whacks it to the side of the net. Desjardins up by Toropchenko. Maslov trying to kick it free. Kenny Savard to Desjardins. Moves it to Courtnall. Play broken up at the line by Shuryev. Desjardins had to wait for Savard to get onside. Now carries across to Russ Courtnall. Into the slot. But Kurashov was there, and he banks it off the boards and down the ice. 2.5 minutes remaining in the third. Turgeon into the Khimik zone. Smirnoff had a strong game on defense. Dmitry Bartolnov looking for Zelapukin. Zelapukin to the Canadiens line to Jardin. To Savard. He shoots it in. Zelapukin back for the puck. 2 minutes remaining in the third. Smirnoff to Seljanin. Off the boards to the Canadiens line. Schneider for Brian Strudlin. Schneider to Richer. Hands it off to Strudlin. For Richier's side of the net, nearly caught Chervyakov out of position, and it's Smirnoff off the boards. It can't keep it in. Zelapukin halted at the line by Didick. Strudlin with 1:27 left. Stefan Richer.
Khimik, the Bruce, goes to Buffalo for a game Wednesday, and the Montreal Canadiens travel to Toronto tonight.
Berdichevsky drop pass for Klemashov. Dmitry Bartolnov to the side of the goal. Didick to Schneider. Klemashov back to Veselgin. In front, shot just wide by Berdichevsky. With less than a minute to go in the third. Matthew Schneider leading the Canadiens attack. Looking for Peterson. Pass was a little too far ahead. He grabs his man. Keane behind the goal. Puck at the side of the net. LeBeau after it, still loose. And back to collect it is Trutno. 32 seconds remaining. Berdichevsky to Trutno. Turns at the line. Had it knocked off his stick by Daigneault. Kurashev. Here's LeBeau at center for Montreal. To Shane Corson. Goes between two Khimik players. Trying to work his way down the boards. Nida. For Kurashev. Keane in the corner. 5 seconds left. Corson looking for Keane. That's picked off. Goes to Kvartalnov. He slaps it down the ice. And the game is over. The final score. Khimik 6 and the Canadiens 3.
Quality Video presents even more bone-crushing hits. Hockey's Hardest Hitters, Volume 2. The great shots. The cheap shots. All in one exclusive video cassette. Hockey's Hardest Hitters, Volume 2. Presenting hockey's all-time all-stars. From shore to oar, from Belleville to Bossy. It's a trip through hockey's time tunnel. Hockey's Hardest Hitters, Volume 2. And hockey's all-time all-stars. Only from Quality Video. In stores now.
Well, Khimik beats the Montreal Canadiens 6-3, and normally after an international game, the handshakes are given and taken by both teams. Khimik was a little better prepared mentally, and certainly this game seemed to mean more to them than it did to the Montreal Canadiens, and as a result, they outplayed the Canadiens, all except for about 10 minutes in the third period when Montreal made a bit of an effort to get back in the game.
The final score tonight was Khimik 6 and the Canadiens 3. We'll return with our Molson Player of the Game announcement right after this.